All right, get ready because today we're going deep on karma.
Ooh, karma.
Yeah, that concept that's been around forever, but often gets misunderstood.
Definitely. It can be a tricky one.
For sure. We've got a ton of Buddhist texts and analyses here, and we're going to cut through the noise and see what karma really means.
Sounds good.
No cosmic judgment, just clear understanding.
I like it.
So how do we even begin with something as complex as karma?
Karma can seem really mysterious, but it's actually a pretty simple principle at its core. Cause and effect.
Okay.
It's not about some divine scorekeeper in the sky.
Right.
It's more like gravity, a universal law.
I see.
Every action, every word, even every thought, it creates a ripple effect.
Right.
And that shapes our experiences.
So it's less about punishment and reward and more about the natural consequences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One text puts it this way. Good karma and bad karma always follow each other. Like a bird traveling in the air, its shadow always following it.
Oh, wow. I like that imagery. Yeah, it's powerful.
It makes karma seem less intimidating,
Right. It's just the natural order of things.
Yeah. But you said thoughts have an effect, too, and that's where it gets a bit mind-blowing for me.
Absolutely. Buddhism breaks it down into 3 avenues.
Okay.
Body, speech, and mind.
Okay.
And it's amazing. All 3 contribute to our karmic experience.
So even those fleeting thoughts, the ones that just pop in and out of our heads.
Yes, even those. They create ripples, too.
Hold on. So even that snarky comment I almost made about my coworker's new haircut this morning.
Yeah.
That's creating karma, even though I didn't say it.
You got it. It's the intention that matters. You entertained the thought, even just for a moment.
Right.
And that created a ripple.
Wow.
It might be subtler than if you had actually said it aloud.
Yeah.
But it's still part of the equation.
Okay, that's a little unsettling.
I know, right?
Makes you really think about all those thoughts running through your head.
It does.
But gotta ask, what about actions that aren't so ideal?
Things we should maybe try to avoid if we want good karma.
You're right. Buddhism highlights certain actions that are particularly bad.
Okay.
These are called the 10 Unwholesome Actions.
And unwholesome actions.
Yes, and they're categorized by those 3 avenues we talked about: body, speech, and mind.
Okay.
And it's not about some arbitrary rules,
Yeah.
It's about understanding which behaviors create disharmony and negativity.
Okay, so what kind of actions are we talking about here?
Well, let's start with deceitful speech.
Deceitful speech.
Yeah, or double tongue, as some texts call it.
Double tongue. That sounds intense.
It goes beyond just lying.
Okay.
It's about using words to manipulate or being insincere,
I see.
with the intention of causing harm.
Oh, okay. So like telling one friend one thing and another friend something completely different.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to stir up drama.
Exactly. Or spreading rumors.
Right.
Gossiping or saying things, aren't true just to hurt someone.
Yeah, I think we've all experienced that at some point.
Probably.
Either being the target or, maybe even doing it ourselves.
It happens.
So what kind of karmic consequences are we talking about here when it comes to deceitful speech?
Well, think about the long-term impact.
Good.
When we deceive or manipulate, we erode trust, create conflict, spread negativity.
Right.
That not only harms relationships,
Yeah.
it creates a ripple that can come back to us.
Oh, wow.
Maybe we find that people don't trust us. Or maybe we become the target of gossip ourselves.
Oof, I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah, it's like we're setting a precedent for the
Yeah.
kind of energy we're going to encounter.
It makes you think twice about those little white lies.
For sure.
So our words carry weight.
They do.
It can build up or tear down.
Absolutely.
And those choices have consequences.
Yes, they do.
Okay, but what about actions that are more tangible?
Like what?
Well, one source talks about professions like hunting and butchery. And the quote is, those who are close to the evil knowledge as they are, those who kill, and those who are close to killing are taught to kill by all kinds of causes of killing, such as vegetarianism, butchery, hunting, etc.
Right.
It's a bit jarring.
Yeah, it is.
So are we saying anyone who eats meat is racking up bad karma?
Well, it's important to remember these texts were written in a very different time than our modern world.
Right.
They're highlighting the weight associated with killing.
Okay.
The suffering involved.
Right.
And while intention matters,
Yeah.
we also have to acknowledge the consequences of our choices, even if they seem unavoidable.
So it's not about judging individuals, but acknowledging the impact
Yes, exactly.
of our action.
It's about cultivating awareness and compassion.
Okay.
We can't ignore the reality that our food choices have consequences.
Yeah.
But we also have to recognize that we live in a complex world.
Right.
Where simple solutions aren't always possible.
So less guilt tripping or mindfulness.
Exactly. It's about striving to minimize harm while recognizing the complexities.
Makes sense.
Good.
I'm starting to see how karma is less about rigid rules and more about understanding the interconnectedness of everything.
Yes.
But what about the mind?
The mind.
You talked about actions and speech.
Right.
But how do thoughts create karma?
Now, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
The texts use this phrase, this delusion is the first seed of hell.
Whoa. Delusion is the first seed of hell. Okay, that's intense.
Wow, right.
But what does delusion even mean here?
Well, it's not about believing the right things.
Okay.
It's about clinging to views that distort reality and cause harm.
So is it just having negative thoughts?
It's a bit more than that.
Okay.
Delusion here refers to beliefs that are just out of sync with reality.
Okay.
It could be harmful ideologies, denying basic truths, or even just a distorted view of ourselves.
So it's not just negative thoughts. It's about beliefs that are just plain wrong.
Exactly. And those beliefs can have a ripple effect on our actions and choices, leading us down paths that cause suffering.
It really makes you think about the power of our thoughts.
It does.
It's not just what we do, but what we choose to believe.
Exactly.
And how those beliefs shape our reality.
You got it.
This is fascinating.
It is.
So how do we cultivate more wholesome thoughts and beliefs?
Well, that's a great question.
Because if delusion is the seed of suffering, there must be a seed of happiness too, right?
Right, exactly.
I'm all ears. Tell me more. This deep dive is getting more and more interesting.
All right. Let's explore that. You know, it's really interesting how this idea of intention keeps coming up with karma.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's not just what we do, it's why we do it.
Exactly.
Like, our motivation just multiplies the karmic effect, you know?
Yeah, like a multiplier, whether it's positive or negative.
Right, exactly. And that's what makes it so much more than just following rules. It's about really understanding our motivations.
Yeah.
And seeing that even small actions can have a big impact.
Absolutely.
Depending on, you know, the intention behind them.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so let's say I'm trying to cultivate good intentions, like plant those seeds of good karma.
Okay.
But, you know, let's be real, we all mess up sometimes. Is there any way to kind of mitigate the damage? Like, can we course correct?
Yeah, that's where purification comes in.
Okay, purification.
Buddhism teaches that it's possible to lessen the negative impact of our unwholesome actions.
So we're not just stuck with the consequences forever.
Not necessarily.
Phew, that's a relief. But how does that work? Is there some kind of karmic reset button?
Well, not exactly a button, but there are practices that can help.
Okay.
But the most important thing is genuine remorse.
Okay, remorse.
It's about recognizing the harm we've caused
Yeah.
and feeling really sorry for our actions.
Not just like a quick apology and moving on.
It's deeper than that.
Okay.
It's an internal shift.
So it's about acknowledging the impact on ourselves and others.
Yeah.
And really wanting to change our behavior.
Exactly. It takes self-awareness and honesty.
For sure.
And then taking responsibility.
Okay.
If we've harmed someone, we apologize.
Right.
And try to make amends.
Right.
Even if we can't undo the harm, we can resolve to act differently.
Yeah.
We can do good things that counteract the negativity.
They're interesting. So like creating positive ripples to balance out the negative one.
Well, exactly. You got it.
I like that. It's like we're shaping our karmic landscape.
That's a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
It's about shifting the momentum of our karmic energy. It's not about punishing ourselves.
No.
It's about learning and growing.
Yeah, becoming better versions of ourselves.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm noticing a theme here, and I really like it.
Yeah. What's that?
This approach to karma, it's not restrictive or judgmental. It's actually really empowering.
It's like we have the power to learn from our mistakes and create a better future.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And that idea of growth is central to Buddhism. It's not a static system. It's a dynamic process.
I see.
That allows for change and evolution.
Makes sense.
We're all on a journey.
Yeah.
We're going to make mistakes.
Of course.
The key is to learn and keep moving forward.
Okay. I like that. Speaking of moving forward.
Yeah.
One of the sources mentioned something about how even just remembering, contemplating, and observing good things can create positive karma.
Yeah, I know that passage.
It says, know that the Bodhisattva has one method that can break all the suffering of the evil paths. It is to remember, contemplate, and observe the good dharmas day and night.
Powerful stuff.
So wait, are we saying just thinking about good things creates good karma?
Well, not quite that simple.
Okay.
Intention and effort are key here.
Right.
Simply thinking about good things without, genuine intention or action won't magically erase negative karma.
Right.
It's about shifting our mental habits.
Okay.
And really wanting to be good.
So it's not about fleeting thoughts.
No.
It's about cultivating a deeper sense of goodness.
Exactly. Like we're training our minds.
Yeah.
To focus on the positive.
Right, which then influences our actions.
Exactly.
And how we interact with the world.
That brings us to another interesting aspect of karma.
Oh. Okay, what's that?
The impact of our social circles.
Wait, are you saying the people we hang out with can affect our karma?
One of the sources specifically talks about that.
Really?
It warns against being around people who do unwholesome actions. It can have a negative impact.
So it's not about ditching our friends.
Right, not about being judgmental.
Okay.
But about being mindful of the company we keep.
Yeah, it's like we're creating a karmic ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly.
That can either support or hinder our growth.
Exactly. It's about surrounding ourselves with good influences.
Okay.
People who inspire us to live a good life.
This is really making me rethink my approach to everything.
It's a powerful concept.
It really is.
Yeah.
But let's take a moment to process all this.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back to continue our exploration of karma. Okay, we're back, and I'm still processing everything we talked about.
It's a lot to take in.
It really is. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I have one more question, kind of nagging at me.
Okay, what is it?
If karma is all about cause and effect,
does
that mean everything is, like, predetermined?
The age-old question.
Right. Like, are we just puppets of our past actions?
That's a common concern.
It can feel kind of fatalistic,
I understand, but the Buddhist view is more nuanced.
Okay.
Our past actions, create a kind of momentum that influences us.
Yeah.
But we're not bound by a fixed fate.
Okay, that's good to hear.
We always have choices.
Right.
We can cultivate good intentions and change the direction of our karmic journey.
So it's not about being trapped by our past.
No.
It's about recognizing the power we have to shape our future.
Exactly. That's the empowering part.
It is empowering.
It's about agency.
Okay.
We're not just, passive recipients.
Right.
We're active participants.
We're creating our reality.
Exactly. It's a dynamic interplay of causes and conditions, and we can influence those conditions.
I'm really liking how this puts the power back in our hands.
That's the point.
It's not about resigning ourselves to some predetermined fate.
No, it's about taking responsibility.
Right, and knowing we can create positive change.
That's the heart of the Buddhist path.
It's not being victims of circumstance.
Right.
It's being co-creators.
Exactly, and that happens moment to moment.
Wow.
Through our thoughts, words, and actions.
This whole deep dive has been amazing, really eye-opening.
Glad to hear it.
I have a completely new understanding of karma.
Oh, yeah. How so?
It's not some punishment system. It's a principle we can work with.
That's the key.
Not against.
Exactly, and that's what leads to real transformation.
Powerful stuff. So as we wrap up, what's the main thing you want listeners to take away?
If there's just one thing, it's this. We all have the power to shape our reality through our thoughts, words, and actions.
Every choice matters.
Every choice, no matter how small.
It's all connected.
It creates ripples far beyond ourselves.
Yeah, a profound interconnectedness.
And we often forget.
So true. So let's all try to live with more awareness, compassion, and understanding that our actions have consequences.
Beautifully said.
This has been incredible. I feel like I have a whole new perspective on life.
I'm glad to hear that.
More intention, more responsibility.
That's what it's all about.
It really is. So on that note, dear listeners, we're resurfacing from this deep dive into karma.
Safe travels back.
I hope you found it as insightful as I have. And until next time, may all your actions create ripples of peace, kindness, and understanding.